Hello everyone, thanks for watching. I'm Sarah and this is another of the Ask Me Anything answers. Someone yesterday asked about awakening the Kundalini, and that is such an interesting question because I guess it's one of the deepest questions that you could ask when you are on your search for spiritual enlightenment. So I'm going to give you about 3 different takes on it, of what I've learned and what it's being explained to me, and then I will give you my personal opinion on what we should really be focusing on. So most traditions will talk about awakening the Kundalini as this energy that resides at the bottom of the spine, and when it awakens, then you get enlightened, basically. And a lot of the practices that we do are technically for that purpose, to cleanse the energy channels that prevent this energy from going up the spine, and a lot of them to also stimulate this energy to wake up and rise up the spine and bring a higher level of consciousness and awakening. There's also the opposite, actually, perception and teaching. As a matter of fact, the Sikachar, who is the son of Krishnamacharya, who trained Iyengar and Pattabhi Jois and some other of the most famous yoga lineages out there, he actually describes Kundalini, the snake, as the block of this universal life force energy. So he basically says, no, this universal life force energy is always flowing through us, but there is this block, which is called the snake, that is actually, hi Jasmine, preventing this energy from rising up the spine. And so what we have to do is, once again, I mean, the answer is still the same: remove the blockages that are in the way of this energy life force. But it's 2 different takes, right? The first one says the energy is there and it's dormant and it needs to be awakened and come up the spine. And the other school of thought says, no. The Kundalini is the snake that's blocking this prana life force energy that's always there, and all we have to do is still remove the blockages so that it can come up the spine. There's other interpretations of this. It is often linked to Tantra, and because Tantra is often misunderstood, it's therefore also linked to sexual energy. And the thing is, it's a very powerful energy that really does awaken your entire system. As a matter of fact, there's a style of yoga, Kundalini yoga, who I've recently just begun to study. So I have been practicing for 20 years, teaching for 10, and I've studied pretty much every lineage of yoga out there in the most traditional version, except for Kundalini. And just a few months ago, I was blessed enough to find a teacher who I feel comfortable studying and learning from. She's actually in this group, Karina. So thank you, Karina, if you watch this. And I will totally, absolutely love your input as of what your teachings have taught you about this energy that we call the Kundalini. Now, all of that said, what I have to say is this: the goal is indeed to remove the energy blockages that prevent prana energy life force from flowing through your physical, mental, energy, and emotional body. That is the ultimate goal. How you go about that, well, that depends on where you are in your evolution, of the vibrational frequency that you're at, of the system that you find that's going to help you with this. All lineages eventually point to the same thing, and it could be Tai Chi or yoga or Kundalini yoga or some other kind of yoga, Hatha yoga, or meditations or mantras. There's a million different external ways that you could try to remove these blockages or to awaken the energy, depending on which school of thought you're following. But I would ask this, well, how did the blockages get in there in the first place? What is it that is kind of like cramping your style and preventing this energy from flowing through? And the answer to that is not that simple, because those are very deep ingrained mental and emotional patterns. I mean, every single thought, every word, every action, every choice, it's either moving you to a more clear state where more energy can flow through, or it's blocking energy from flowing through. That's the bottom line. So I've actually invented a new term recently. I'm gonna call this practical spirituality, because a lot of the times people are trying to find these, altered states of consciousness, and they go through all this trouble to do all of these practices to maybe catch glimpses of this state of bliss and joy, which is actually your natural state. So my question would be, okay, what is it right now in your life this week, today, that you are doing that is not aligned with your spirit, and therefore is preventing this life force energy prana from flowing through your energy system? And there's a lot of exercises and a lot of introspection that we can do about that. There's a quiz up above. It's called the Free Spirit Quiz. What is your soul really calling for? Walks you through some basic questions to do some introspection to see what it is that maybe could be blocking this energy from flowing through. And so I know this is not the most exciting answer to the question, but it is really the most practical answer to the question. So to summarize, there's a school of thought that says the energy is dormant and you need to awaken it. There's another school of thought that says, no, the energy is already there, it's flowing through you, and then there's the snake that's covering it up that you need to get out of the way so that the energy can flow through. Whomever you listen to, the answer is remove the blockages so the energy can flow through, or awaken, depending on what you're listening to. I mean, you have to remember that these are concepts that really are hard to grasp by our puny little human mind. So we're trying to describe something that simply cannot be described. And the people who have experienced it really are just pointing to it, but can't really give us the rational explanation that you might want. And even if you did get the rational explanation, it's still not gonna help you unless you're actually living your life in alignment with this life force energy. And to do that, you have to learn how to behave in a way that does no harm, where you're always truthful, where you're always content, where there's no greed, there's no attachment, there's purity in everything that you do, and everything that you listen to, and everything that you eat. And there's self-study and surrender and all of these things that yoga teaches us to do. And so that is my short but simple and yet not so direct answer to this question of awakening the Kundalini. I hope it helps. Thank you so much for watching. Have a blessed day. Namaste.